Welcome to another edition of Inside Titan Sports. I'm your host, Jeff Radcliffe, and in the next half hour, we're going to get you caught up on all things Eastern Florida State College athletics. And on the docket today, we will catch up with Jamie Howell in the men's golf program, the fantastic and legendary head coach, as we learned a few weeks ago. And we will also check in with the number 2 ranked men's soccer team led by head coach Oliver 12 Trees. And right now, we will begin with the consensus number 1 women's soccer team in the country, the Eastern Florida Titans, led by the head coach Jeff Carr and his new arrival, Khadijah Bunny Shaw. Thanks for joining. Your TV debut, how does that make you feel?
Well, I feel good, but I'm a bit nervous. Yeah.
Okay. And very, very softly spoken, but sure, her actions really speak loud on the actual field, don't they?
Absolutely, yes. She is a presence on the field. You know, she's 6 feet tall, can run well, very athletic, does a great job, and everything. She can play a couple different positions, so does fantastic for us. Big addition having her in our game this past Friday night.
A huge game this past Friday night. It was number 1 versus number 2 in the country at Darton State up in Georgia. A 3-0 win for the Titans. Nice debut. You get a goal and an assist in that game. What was it like to finally get out there?
Well, it was nice knowing that I had to sit out the past few games, but it was an important game knowing that they were number 2 and we were number 1 and we really needed to win. So that was the most important part.
Titans were number 1 even before you got the arrival, but this really bolsters things and really kind of cements the talent base that you have on the roster.
Absolutely, she helps in a lot of depth in a couple different positions at striker and as attacking mid. So we're ecstatic to have her now able to play.
Were you surprised that Darton State didn't put up as much of a fight as they were supposed to, being the number 2 team? Because you had a lot of chances that could have made it a bigger score line. It was just 3-0.
Well, I think they played, but we were just more focused. Like we went in the game more focused, knowing that they were number 2 and they would be good. So we just gave them a fight, and that's what we did. What
does a win like that, do for the program here in the early going now that you're 4-0?
Well, again, it was one game in the schedule. It was nice to beat the number 2 team in the country. It was one of the best we've played so far this year, so that was nice. And I think the trip came at a perfect time. We went up the night before and then spent 6 hours in the mall before we had to play on Friday. But I think it brought the team together, and they realized if we play well, what is possible for us as a team.
Talk about the first assist, the first points that you get are on the assist to Paul Estia-Zaran in the 35th. Talk about how that goal set up and opened the scoring for you guys.
Well, at first we were playing closely, but we spread them out and we played the ball down the line to our right back, and then she played it back to me, and I chipped it to Paul, and then she just finished.
And I mean, this is what you expected, right? When you draw it up, I mean, she's going to make an instant impact, and she did in the 41st, getting her first goal.
Absolutely, she's a major player. A lot of big-time D1s are already recruiting her, but she's an impact player for us immediately when she gets on the field.
Why transfer to Eastern Florida State College? You were at a really good program at Navarro, and she is a member of the U20 Jamaican women's national team, so a very high-profile player. Why make the switch and come here to play for Coach Carr?
Well, I've researched on Eastern Florida, and they've been consistent over the years, and I just think that being here would make me a better player, so that's why.
It's really nice too. You've got these great players up front, but then you have Steph Barreras in goal, another clean sheet, a 3-0 win. It's from front to back that's been a dominating team so far.
Yes, absolutely. Again, we want to credit everyone on the team, even those coming off the bench. It's a team effort, but yeah, we have a little more depth and a little more talent than we have had in the past, and that's exciting for the possibilities for this end of the year.
What was it like the first couple of weeks not getting to play because we had to wait for the transfer paperwork, and you know how these things go? What was it like for you kind of watching, you get into practice, but you couldn't really kind of get into the games, could you?
It was really frustrating because I was on the sideline just watching them play, and I was like, if I was out there it would be better, so It was just frustrating. Especially when the game came close, it's just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any surprise that she would just meld right into things so that quickly?
No, because she's been practicing with us the whole time, and just off the field, they're such a close-knit team that they all get along so well, and she's just part of it with her contagious smile and her attitude, and she just goes out there and does her job.
Who on the team do you like playing with? I know Abby Camargo got another goal there in the 80th to get the final score line at 3-0. Who are some of the teammates you really like connecting with now that you're in there?
Paula, Abby, Brianna, most of the girls. They're just good.
I'm just curious, does that make your game so much easier when you have so much quality around you?
Yeah, it actually does, knowing that we combine a lot, so it actually does.
Well, now it gets for real. You get another chance to make a statement against Darton State in a couple weeks here at home, which will be nice. But before that, you're beginning region play. It's a very, very important part of the schedule you're about to head into.
Absolutely. I mean, if you don't win your region, you don't move on. So it's the very most important part of our schedule. We got 6 games between Broward and Polk over the next 4 weeks. So huge games coming up.
Yeah, Polk and Broward are on the schedule this week. What do you know about some of the opponents you're going to be playing?
Well, I don't really know about Polk or Broward. I just know any team comes, we're ready for them.
What do you know then about these two?
Well,
you have to study the film, then you got to translate this to all the girls.
But they're both a lot better than they were last year. So I mean, we have a fight on our hands each time we go out there to play them now. Mike at Goodridge at Broward, new coach there, came over from Nova. He will do a tremendous job. He already has done a tremendous job. Broward's much improved, so is Polk.
What are your favorite things to do? Now we're going to get into the fun stuff. What do you like here about living in Florida now compared to where you were before?
Just like the environment, just like going out and having fun.
Anything? We were talking off air about particular types of food, restaurants. You said Jamaican food is obviously the home cooking for you. You haven't found a place here, but there are some other places you do like.
Chick-fil-A.
Nothing wrong with that. We need to get them on board as a sponsor as soon as possible. And Chick-fil-A, I believe, is based in Georgia, so that was pretty opportune that you were up in that
Well, we
vicinity?
actually have one on campus as well.
Okay,
so she gets to go there on a daily basis.
Very, very good. Well, best of luck the rest of the season, Khadijah. Bunny, and she did not want to let us know how she got the nickname. It is a family thing, but you'll know her and love her as Bunny Shaw. Congratulations on the start of the season, 4-0 and into region play this week. Well, when we come back, we will change gears. The number 2 team in the nation is the men's soccer team from Eastern Florida State College. We will talk with Wilfred Williams, the center back. We'll get into that in just a bit, and the head coach, Oliver Twelvetrees, when we come back.
Eastern Florida State College. This is where you discover new opportunities, where you pursue your dreams, and careers take flight. Apply now for new bachelor and associate degree programs in business, healthcare, computer technology, and other growing fields. Eastern Florida, where Titans rise. Apply today.
Welcome back to Inside Titans Sports. I'm your host, Jeff Radcliffe. We now turn our attention to the number 2 ranked Eastern Florida State College men's soccer program, which last week on WEFS-TV knocked off Florida National University, a newcomer to the college soccer scene, 2-1, and joined by Oliver Twelvetrees, the head coach, and Wilfred Williams, the man who now has the nickname Wheels. We'll get into that in just a bit. The 5'7", now center back as well. Congratulations, you guys undefeated, now 4-0-1, and another instance where you had to work hard to get a result.
Yeah, we always want to bring in top quality opponents. We thought Florida National would push us, and they did push us all the way. And 5'7" for Wilfred, I might be stretching a little bit.
Well, we get them the nickname Stretch. That would work too. Yeah, we mentioned. We'll stop mentioning the 5'7" after this point. But you're from Johnson City, Tennessee. We learned a few episodes back, a transfer from Memphis. You were recruited here to be on the left side, to be a burner up and down the left, whether that was a left back or left mid, and how's the transition been? Because because of injuries, have been needed in the back, and you've really stepped it up to the challenge.
It's been weird. It was weird at first, not like playing center back ever, but I'm really enjoying it. It's giving me opportunities to see the field more, and as a defender, as a left back, you don't really know what's coming on your blind side, but as a center back, you have to be aware of everything around you, and it's giving me that leadership to talk to the guys in front of me and be more demanding.
Is it the recovery speed that's going to really make him good there, but also the smarts that he has, the soccer IQ he's got back there?
Certainly his speed is what led us to put him in that position in the first place. But, you know, as he said, I think to make him the complete footballer, which we know he can become, playing that centre-back role will add to his game in the long term. And, you know, he's a great individual, great human being, and that he wants to put team first over himself shows the testament to what a great young man he is, and he's doing a fantastic job there.
Well, we mentioned the 2-1 win. There was a televised game, Eddie Rodriguez and I calling, and we mentioned the speed of Wilfred there, and then brought up the fact that he was at center back. So the Wheels nickname has now stuck, apparently. Is that something that bothers you at all, or are you okay with that?
I love it. Keep calling me that.
Now, the team getting in on this, too? Do we have to give everybody a nickname, so Luke Ferrero will have something next week on the next broadcast?
No, I think it's good. I think, you know, anything to bring the guys together and the camaraderie for the boys, and he's, you know, very vocal leader as well for us. He is a captain, so I think, you know, playing that centre-back role allows him to lead the line and push the team up and drop them back when needs to happen. Yeah,
it was a J.J. Donnelly goal. He could have had a goal before that. There was a penalty that was earned, wasn't able to convert, but had the goal that he really stepped up a few minutes later and got you guys on the board, didn't he?
Sure, again, we had lots of chances to probably ice the game and didn't take them, including another missed penalty. But, you know, JJ's having a good season. He's a very dynamic player, and he's going to score. You know, he's going to score every time he gets opportunities. Yeah,
well, for your counterpart on the other side, a kid named Marcus Stein from this team that's from Hialeah, Florida, steps up and boots one from 45, and all of a sudden, you guys are level 1-1 there in the second half. What's going through your mind and your teammates' mind? What are you talking about on the field in the huddles and stuff?
I mean, at that moment, after he scored, it was just like, it was really shocking because we weren't expecting a shot like that. So it was just like, okay, it was nobody's fault. It was unlucky. So we're like, let's get going and let's get back in now. And we just kept focused. And we got another goal 5 minutes later. So
yeah, 19 minutes to go. An unlikely hero of sorts, Nick Medcraft, really making a nice run into the box, a really tough angled shot. And did you see that coming? Is this something that Nick Medcraft had in him?
You know, we were actually joking on the bench earlier because one of the boys was shouting for Nick to take a shot from about 35 out. I said, hey, easy. And then, you know, 10 minutes later he runs down. And again, you know, great play from Nick. He went down and got back up, got on his feet and put it in the top corner. So it was very well played from Nick, and he's a good player.
One thing Eddie and I brought up on the broadcast is every game this season here at home has had some sort of weather delay, as we're used to seeing here on the Space Coast and in Central Florida, that those things tend to happen. But you guys have handled it so well. I'm just curious, how hard is that when you have either, in some instances, you were starting the game and having to stop and then restart, or then you're warmed up and then the game doesn't happen? How hard is that to kind of get back and get the wheels rolling?
It's something you kind of get used to after 1 or 2 games. You like, if it's like consistent, you're like, okay, well, we know this is going to happen. We check our phones and we check the weather. We're like, okay, we're going to have to expect this. And so mentally, like the guys, they keep focused by listening to music, and we're in the locker room, we're playing soccer, tennis. We're just like, our mind is still on. It's just because we're not on the field doesn't mean mentally we're not still there. So whenever it's time to get on the field, we're ready to play.
I know that probably raises your blood pressure too, because it adds another variable into a contest where you're already worrying about the X's and O's and what the competition's throwing at you, and then you got to throw that variable into the whole game equation. And what's that like?
Certainly, probably more stressful for me than the guys. You know, I probably stress about it more, and it's more of an issue, you know, with the other teams and the weather and the referees and what we're going to do. But you know, again, the safety of the players is most important, and the players do a great job dealing with it.
How do you think the start has gone overall, being 4-0-1? I mean, and it's not like you've gotten out and really dominated, but you've found ways to win, and then that certainly tells a lot about the character of the guys around you too.
Yeah, that's one thing we realized about our team, that we have heart. Like no matter what, going down, we've started most of our games coming from being down, and so that tells that no matter what happens on the field, we're always going to find ways to score.
That said, I'm sure you would like to have one of those 4-0, 5-0 type of victories that we saw sometimes last year. That may not come soon because now you've got such a difficult schedule, and I think that was by design, wasn't it?
Sure, we want the boys to be tested every week and be challenged, and then they can, you know, bring out the best in their game. And we want to be prepared for what we have this weekend with the opening conference game against Broward, which is going to be a very tough team. So we wanted to be tested going into that, knowing our limits and knowing how far we need to come and keep developing.
The national tournament is obviously the goal. Wilfred, do you guys feel you're getting prepared moving forward as we're about to get into the region play and the games that really count?
Oh yeah, we're definitely ready for anything, because our schedule's been really hard, playing some top D2s and D1 schools, and we haven't had any games that's been easy so far. So we're getting ready one day at a time.
Host Broward next, and then ASA. The nice thing is when you get into this stretch of these region games, it's going to be one per week. Kind of focus on one at a time. Was that by design?
Definitely. You know, we wanted when we get into, you know, late September, October, to really be able to have more training days to be able to focus, you know, watch the other teams, you know, scout the other teams, and then develop a game plan to try and come out and beat them.
What do you know about? Do you know anything about Broward here, or is this something you let the coaching staff tell you a little bit before the game? I mean, we need to watch out for this particular person because they've had some good results this year.
I've not been following up on Broward. I've not been following up on any team. I just worry about our team and worry about how we're gonna play our game, not worry about them. We want them to play according to us, not us playing according to them.
Is there something that you want to see from these guys now going forward that hasn't been shown quite yet? Some things that maybe you need to be polished up before we get into that next segment?
Certainly taking our chances, you know, finishing penalty kicks, taking our chances. I think if we can do that, we're going to be very tough to beat.
And how are things with, are there any relationships developing with some of the teammates there at all?
Yeah, I mean, we're a team, so being a captain, I can't really, there's no favorites. I have to try to be on everybody's good side and try to like encourage the guys, and I've thought I've done that, and so I enjoy having guys play in front of me. They make my job easier, like McCall and Micah, and so and having Shiram on the left side, it makes my job easy.
And it makes your job easy as a coach to have that luxury, because you could always later in the season move him to a more comfortable spot when you get the depth back in the central defense, right?
Certainly, and that's, you know, I keep telling him that. So you know, learn to play center back now, but we might need you up further down the line. So.
Makes you more versatile going forward as you look to further your career. Well, Wilford Williams, Mr. Wheels, good luck here in the next couple of games. They'll be on WEFS-TV, of course, and make sure you tune in and watch the Titans in action. Just like the women, very, very good team, one of the best in the country. Oliver 12-3, thank you very much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
We will shift gears and hit the links right after this as we talk with Jamie Howell and a special guest. We're talking men's golf when we come back on Inside Titan Sports.
This is where we're building the future. This is where we meet the challenge, where leaders emerge and careers take flight. This is where you discover new opportunities. Choose to stand where excellence lives, where Titans rise. Eastern Florida State College.
Welcome back to Inside Titan Sports. I'm Jeff Radcliffe. Now we turn our attention to the men's golf program at Eastern Florida State College, led by the reigning Coach of the Year, Jamie Howell, now in his 14th season. And now we got the sophomore, Michael Keemont, who is very glad to be back this year. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Glad to be here. So when we talked to you a few weeks ago, it was getting into preparation for a return trip to Alabama. Where are you at with the team right now?
Been basically bailing out of water for the past 2 weeks. It's been tough to prepare with all the weather delays we've had, and at the same time we've got some good practice in around it. We're in the middle of qualifying right now. We got 2 rounds in last Thursday and Friday. Play again tomorrow, today, and Thursday, and then we'll have the 5 set by Thursday evening. Have a light practice on Friday and hit the road on Saturday.
Michael, what's been the fall season been like for you? Michael is a sophomore out of Timber Creek High School, just down the 528 in Orlando. What has been the early part of this season been for you guys? I mean, have you not been able to play very a lot because of the weather for one, but also the condition of the courses?
I mean, we're out there every day. We have to deal with the rain every day it comes, and it's been raining pretty much every day too. So we'll get in as much practice as we can before the rain comes. But our main focus this year, we've been trying to mesh a little better this year when we've been successful so far. I think the guys this year compared to last year kind of get along better. And we're just trying to practice as hard as we can and get ready for the next tournament week by week.
Michael, we were talking off camera, a minor knee injury, but that does kind of hinder you when you're a golfer and you're using every muscle in your body to get these balls off the tee and out of the sand traps or wherever. We hope that's not the case. But what's it like to get him back into the fold for you guys?
I've been looking forward to it. You know, his spring was cut short last year by the knee injury, just when he's getting his feet on the ground. Yeah. And the recovery time from that, you know, the most important thing is let's not have this linger on. So I know he was looking forward to this year, and he wants to be part of that group in the van every time we leave town, and he's doing a good job.
I asked Kerry Sweeney this a few weeks ago. What's it like, the team mentality? Because golf is such an individual sport, and how do you approach that? You're thinking individually sometimes out on the course, but you also have to think for the better of the team, and how does that work?
I mean, you're always trying to do the best you can, regardless of if it's a team sport or an individual sport. I mean, we're always trying to do the best for ourselves, which is always a good thing, but we're always looking to help the person next to us in the van. I mean, if we see someone walking down the fairway with their head down, we're going to try to say a joke, an inside joke, try to cheer them up, get a smile going, try to change their mentality during the round.
Jamie, you've coached 16 All-Americans. You know how to judge golf talent. Tell us, a little about Michael here and what kind of game what kind of skills does he bring to the team right now? So now you can cover your ears.
We had kind of an open session not long ago, describing, our qualities, tendencies. And one of the things with Michael might have been, trying too hard, trying to force the issue. And if we can just get him to ease off the intensity and play the game the way he knows how. And, we try to find some ways to distract ourselves in between shots. Our game's quite different. When Oliver and Coach Carr have their teams together, they're pretty much confined to about a 110-yard area. My guys could be spread out over almost 2 miles. They may have times they don't see one another. And all of a sudden you do see one of your teammates, and if they're dragging butt, we try to recognize, hey, it's not that bad, and somebody else might be struggling worse than you. Get your chin up. Michael, probably the best thing he's done is just be self-aware that, okay, this isn't just about me, this is about the program, and whatever I can do to pick up the program is more important than just me.
Michael, at what point do you want to kind of be fine-tuned and peaking? Is it in the fall, or is that something you kind of aim for in the spring to kind of have everything put together?
I mean, we always try to play our best golf. I mean, I want to play as good a golf as I can play tomorrow if I can, but I'd love to be playing my best golf coming into nationals. I mean, we want to take nationals home every year. I mean, I know it's been Coach's dream of ever since he started coaching here to take home the national trophy, and I'd just like to be part of the team that takes it home for him.
And you've told us, Coach, before that this could be the team, right?
Absolutely. Like Michael said, there's good camaraderie, there's good chemistry there. Probably the thing I have to be careful of is, we're not coaching to be the home team. We're hosting nationals in May. We're preparing, and I'm coaching basically to get ready for our season and arrive at a national tournament prepared to play wherever it's played.
And there's some men's grooming that may happen if you win a national championship. Now, is this a big motivator for you and the guys out there to have a mustache go by the wayside? An iconic mustache, we might add.
I mean, we joke about it with him all the time about how he needs to shave his mustache if we win nationals. It's been a joke since day one of my freshman year, and so all the guys have said the same thing. Every guy that I've met that's played here said the same thing about wanting Coach to shave his mustache, and no one's been able to get the national title for him, so we're hoping to see it clean.
That's a process, right? I mean, where do you feel the guys are now? And I mean, I'll talk with you off and on camera about this, but getting these guys ready for that right time, to be peaking at the right spot.
I think you have to be very careful how you even approach that, because then it's like you're trying to save yourself. And as Michael said earlier, let's do our best every single day. We've got a tournament that starts a week from today. If we got in the van and drove today up there, I'd be ready to play, just based on the work we've gotten in. Everything we do will be preparing for the next event, and we'll do some preparation well in advance of other events with conditions as best I can assimilate what's about to happen to them. But look what's right in front of you right now. Be careful of looking beyond that, because then you get a little sloppy sometimes. So if I can keep them in the here and now, we'll be fine when we get toward the latter part of May.
Michael, your bio on the Eastern Florida Athletics website says, your favorite golfer, Jordan Spieth, and that's a pretty nice golfer, guy who's won the Masters and the U.S. Open and was in contention for the other majors this year. What do you like about his game, and what things can you take away by watching a professional at that level?
I like the fire that I see in him when he plays. Every time he steps on the tee box, you can see he wants to win, and that's something I try to strive myself to do every time I step on the tee box as well, is just have the mentality to win. And I see that when I see him play, and I'd like to have that influence on me.
Yeah. Golf is a game of doing, not necessarily watching, but can the young golfers coming up learn by just watching what some of these pros do?
Oh, you bet. And there's probably never been a better time for it. You can't turn on a television without seeing it. I mean, it's on 24 hours a day on one dedicated channel. They should be watching. They should have favorites or people they idolize, and then copy some of the things they do and put it into their own. I don't think there's ever been a better time for it.
wanted to ask you our final question about your assistant Jerome Smith and what he means to the program, because like you said, you mentioned you're out all over a golf course during any type of event, you're riding that cart, but what's it like to have that extra eyes and ears out there for you?
I have two assistants. I have one former player who's back with us this year, Kyle Benson, helping out. Hope to have him down here one day for you. Jerome's been with us for approximately 12 years now. Jerome's a neat sort. His health is not well, and he's not been able to take part much at all this year. The last couple years he's confined to crutches, struggles getting around. He came out to watch us play last year when we played the Collegiate Players Cup. He came to our tournament, the Titan Winter Invitational, and he came out to Florida Tech's event when they hosted at Duran. He's somewhat limited. Jerome's a special person to me. He's like a second father, and anything I can share with him with the guys will be very important, because years from now they'll recognize what he brings to the table for us.
Well, Coach Jamie Howe, thank you very much. Michael Keemont, continued success going forward here this fall as you move towards, hopefully, a big win at Nationals. And that will do it for another edition of Inside Titans Sports. So glad you were able to join. Now, if you would like to learn more about the Titans athletic programs, go to the website, easternflorida.edu/athletics, or even better, tune in to Inside Titan Sports each and every week on WEFS-TV. So for all my guests, I'm Jeff Radcliffe saying thanks for watching, and go Titans.